Hello and welcome to episode 22 of Extra Interact, where Steven, Eric, Sam, and Gaff get together to discuss this week's biggest news in gaming and discuss that week's main topic. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Extra Interact to stay connected with us and to listen to our podcast on your Spotify feed or whatever you listen to podcasts on. And this is, you may not know this, but this is a pretty early recording for us, like 11 in the morning my time. So people... some of us might be a bit more tired than we usually are. I'm not though. I'm a morning person, so I'm good. I won't speak for others.
Right.
But anyway, let's move on to the news. First topic is first one on the list is a very tired old game. Speaking of tired, Skyrim Anniversary Edition comes on November 11th this year for Skyrim's 10th anniversary. They're re-releasing Skyrim again, and it's coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. Apparently the only thing that they're adding is a brand new fishing mechanic. Aside from that,
they're adding more.
Yeah, I was going to mention some new content from the Creation Club, which I'm actually not sure what the Creation Club is. If one of you can explain that to me.
The Creation Club is a really stupid thing that they implemented with, I think Fallout 4 was the first game. And it was essentially like a paid mods service. You don't have to pay for, not all of them are paid, and at this point a lot of the ones on the Creation Club aren't paid, but
is this the only way to get mods on console?
No.
Yeah. Because that's I think it was Fallout 4 was the first one, but obviously they implemented it with special edition.
Yeah.
Of Skyrim, but yeah, it's the only way to get mods on console, because you have to go through Bethesda.net, which is a bummer, but hey, it gets you mods on console. So, but it's really confusing because they said the way they said for this anniversary, they said it's 500 elements from the Creation Club. I don't know what that
mean. Elements.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what I don't know what elements means. I don't know if that's items or I don't know, because if there's 500 items, that's pretty cool. If there's a bunch of weapons and armor that's added, that's pretty cool. Because whenever I mod Skyrim, those are the mods that I primarily focus on, are ones that add weapons and armor, because there's a lot of really cool creators creations on Nexus, at least, for different skins and different armor textures and different unique weapons that are cool. There's lightsaber mods.
Nice.
I honestly haven't played with any of the story stuff, but I hear some of the story stuff is actually really good.
Yeah, oh my gosh. The Forgotten City, I mean, it's now a game, but
that's the Dwemer stuff, right?
But there's some Dwemer stuff in it. But that was a phenomenal story mod way back. It's easily the best, in my opinion, the best story mod that I've played. But there's some other good ones as well. But I don't know that any of that's on Creation Club.
So do you know if is 4K 60 then on this, or is there
the article actually doesn't say?
That's what I mean.
I'm not sure.
I didn't catch.
I would assume.
Better be.
Base 4K 60, right?
Yeah, because they patched at least the Xbox version already, right? Or whatever, to...
Yeah, there's...
60 FPS.
Yeah, so I imagine it's probably even going to do 120.
And the PS5 version, you have to mod it to get 60 FPS. But it is possible.
Dang.
Anyways, in terms of getting the actual game, so PS5 and Series X and S owners will get access to a free next-gen enhanced version on the same day, and everyone else who has the special edition of Skyrim can purchase the anniversary edition upgrade for a currently undisclosed amount.
A nominal fee,
Okay.
I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
$10 or something sounds about right.
Oh wait, I get this for free?
I guess so.
Yeah, if you
So I
have
special edition?
I think
Everyone
with the
else
special,
with
yeah.
Okay.
Wait, the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim Special Edition owners on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. I mean,
Who's
there's not
everyone
a
else?
version.
Like people have
We'll
PC?
get access to here. Let me see real quick. So they'll get access to a free next
The
gen.
part that confuses me is because PlayStation's all like weird with the different versions.
Right.
Like, there's not a PlayStation 5 version of the Special Edition.
Well, the PlayStation 4?
So-
I don't know. That's so weird.
If
But
that
I
was
own the-
coming though. That's
but I'm
what's coming,
assuming-
right?
Well, technically. So I'm assuming since I own the PS4 Special Edition.
Technically, it'll be that's what that seems like. Yeah, they're not super clear with the messaging on the article, at least.
Although it says everyone else who has the Special Edition of Skyrim can purchase Anniversary Edition upgrade for a currently undisclosed amount.
So that's PC then.
Who are these
right?
other people?
Right.
What other version? The PC?
Wait, so
Like,
The PC people.
can you
then.
read that whole quote again?
it says
Okay.
the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim Special Edition owners on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X/S will get access to a free next-gen enhanced version on the same day. Everyone else who has the Special Edition of Skyrim can purchase the Anniversary Edition upgrade for a currently undisclosed amount.
I think that might be a
I don't know.
typo, man.
I don't know.
Yeah,
This seems a little weird.
that's confusing.
That's-
Yeah, because if you have special edition on PS4, you get
Like, there's only
upgraded
one
to
console. Like,
PS5?
there's only one
But then
version of the Special
Yeah, it's a little
Edition.
weird.
I
for
guess this
each,
is what
like,
proofreading is for, right?
platform. I'm not
When
really
you're doing
sure
your
what that means.
articles. Yeah, the
I guess
messaging
on
isn't
PC
super
you
clear.
might have to.
But I think
Yeah,
maybe the idea is maybe PC, and I think I heard though. I think I heard Game Pass may have to purchase that as a separate thing because you technically don't have the license for the game, right?
Yeah, because
Okay.
Special Edition was already free for PC users that had the game.
Yeah,
Because at that point in time, you could mod the game to just look better than the Special Edition. So
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'll probably play some more of it just to check out the new features, right? But then jump out.
I'm gonna go fishing.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Anyways, I saw this cool fun fact where Skyrim has been released on 12 platforms, and which has now overtaken Resident Evil 4 for
Jeez.
the number of platforms it's been released on. Resident Evil 4 is at 11. Wow, it's amazing.
It really is.
Me and my brother talked about this last night. Apparently, so this Anniversary Edition is coming out on November 11th. Guess what else is coming out on November 11th?
This November 11th?
Yes.
Isn't that
I don't know.
Forza? Or
No, that's the
No, Forza's the 9th.
What else is coming
I
out
believe.
on the 11th?
The next gen version of GTA 5.
No.
no.
Wait, was that announced?
Which has also been released on PS3 and, or the same generations.
Enough.
know what's funny?
That's enough.
I saw a tweet from Jonathan Dornbush at IGN saying that the games we're going to be talking about this year are Skyrim, GTA, and The Witcher 3.
Jesus.
The Witcher. Oh, because that's getting
That's
an
getting a
upgrade
next
too.
gen update.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna jump back into that shit. So
I probably will too. That game's great.
Capitalism.
I know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Moving on,
Games never die.
Skyrim has had more than enough time in the spotlight. Let's talk
this is
about.
This is where I exit.
We'll bring you back for the Gamescom topic. Don't worry. So until then, let's talk about Pokemon. So on the 18th, there's a Pokemon Presents, and they showed off a few things: Pokemon Unite and some the other smaller games. But the main events were Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and Pokemon Legends Arceus. So let's talk about the Gen 4 remakes first. So they showed off some new features. First, they redid the Pokemon Underground. Now that they have some hidden rooms that contain Pokemon based on how you decorate your secret base. So making your secret base was always a fun thing to do back in the original DS games, but now there's like an even additional purpose to it. Pokemon contests, which I've always thought have been pretty superfluous, and in every iteration they've been in, they've kind of redone them. Also, Pokemon contests are now more of a rhythm game, and you can, as usual, make your Pokemon show off one of their moves to earn points. Pokeball seals are coming back. So these are basically stickers you put on your Pokeball so that when you send out your Pokemon, they send out like these special effects like
Yeah, it's like a
sparkles or
flourish, right? As they come out.
yeah,
That's kind of
flower
cool.
petals or lightning effects. You can dress up your character. You can purchase outfits, and you can make them wear whatever you choose. And besides that, they showed off updated looks on games that people who played the originals would already be familiar with, like Team Galactic and the gym leaders, the champion, the starters, and so on, the rival. Overall, I mean, this is what I expected after I set my expectations when we saw the game the first time. There's not some grand reimagining of Gen 4, unfortunately. This is just a slightly shinier version of the DS games with a bit more of added mechanics and gimmicks. I'm not going to complain because I love the DS games, and therefore I'm going to love these games. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to play it. And maybe that's my fault for
Perpetuating
their,
that whole
their
like
strategy. But
right.
Gen 4 is like one of my favorites, so I have to play it.
Yeah,
And on my Switch, on my TV. What do you guys think?
honestly, dude, I'm right there with you. Like, I perpetuate this. Well, we want Pokemon to innovate, but we keep buying the same things they give us that are just reskinned, basically, at this point. They add a little, like, a few quality of life things, like, the mini map seemed nice on this. It was just like a tiny little detail I noticed. The flourishes, obviously, I think the revamp of the Pokemon contests.
Yeah.
I'll probably actually get into those now. That was something I never really participated in a whole lot.
I hope contests have like something you earn by winning them, like a gym badge. Because
Yeah,
in the anime, you earn like a ribbon, and then once you have all 5 ribbons or whatever, then there's like the equivalent of like the Grand Pokemon League, but for contests.
yeah, that's what I saw, and I was always jealous because I couldn't personally get invested, but my friends would be like, "Look at this! Look at these ribbons and all these things I got from these contests," and I'm just like,
Who
"Oh,
cares,
dude!
man?
I mean, I can't.
Who gives,
Like, they're cool, right? And I wanted them on my Pokemon, but I didn't want to do the whole
who
like
gives a fuck?
right? Serious. Um, but like I was always super into the underground stuff, so I'm excited that's there. I hope there's more
Yep.
customization stuff. And I think Ark will get to this in a second, but all I saw was those statues, right? As far
Yeah.
as like customization. If there's not those like mats or like the little bean bags that you can sit on,
Oh
or
yeah.
like, it's gonna be a miss. No, really though. Regardless, I'm gonna jump into this one head first. I don't know. I haven't been excited about Pokemon in a while. This was probably the one I got the most time into growing up. So it's
And
really cool to see that they're actually doing it and putting a little bit of love into it. I kind of hope though that they do like end game stuff, at least a little bit.
oh, I'll get into that a bit after. But
Yeah, Ark, go ahead.
oh sorry.
Yeah, this trailer or this direct was like a pretty fine showing of the game. You know, like Gav said, I wasn't really expecting too much in terms of like new stuff because they did say like back then it was gonna be like a faithful remake. Now, like you said, the
Very
underground,
faithful.
like they added they added like that new those new like Pokemon areas in the underground, which wasn't in the original game.
Yeah.
Underground has online now, which is great because
Yes.
for me as a kid, it was kind of hard meeting people like with locally to try
Yeah.
and like steal their flags or whatever to get the
Yeah.
Spiritomb or whatever. I hope that mode is back online because that would be pretty fun.
Yeah, that is how you catch Spiritomb. Yeah.
Yeah. Steven did mention that that the secret bases only had like statues in the trailer, and I am like a little worried about that.
Yeah, it doesn't look cozy.
Yeah,
As I
like
remember.
it was pretty cool to customize to make to have like tables and like chairs and stuff like that. So like we'll have to see when the full game comes out. That's real. If those are in or not. What else was there? The contest, like you guys said, like as a kid, I was growing up with this game too a lot. I put most of my time into it. I did do like a lot of the contests, like after beating all the gyms and stuff. And they were pretty fun.
Yeah.
It looked mostly the same to me, but like besides that rhythm game part, but I don't know if they
Well,
showed you dressing up your Pokemon. I don't think they showed
no,
that
you
part.
could have done it before. And like the thing is now with like quote unquote modern technology, you can now actually see like your Pokemon model
Yeah,
like actually do stuff instead
Modern.
of before, which like it was just like a sprite, a stationary
Yeah.
sprite before.
Dude,
yeah. Like back
Pokemon.
then, all it was just putting like sprites on top of sprites. So I guess I can kind of see why they don't let you. Do
Yeah,
this
for
anymore.
video watchers, where I have the video pulled up now, you can see they're kind of it's like a rhythm based thing, and
I can't wait to put like my giant like Dialga or Pokemon in this
right.
contest. What are they gonna do for that?
Speaking of that, they also showed off like Pokemon follow you behind you again,
Yeah,
which is it's weirdly a feature that they have sometimes and don't have sometimes.
They
It's like
keep
really weird for
adding
them.
it and removing it.
Yeah, it's really weird.
just give me the option to, right? Just
Yeah.
make it a check mark on like, because some people don't like it for clutter on the screen, but other people like for me, I prefer it, right? Because I'm going with my party, so.
Yeah, this is cool because they didn't have this feature in the original Gen 4 games, besides like in one area of like one of the towns and like with only certain Pokemon. And so now it looks like it's gonna be like every Pokemon following you everywhere, so that's pretty cool. Trying to think what else they showed.
I mean, they added fashion stuff, right, for your trainer.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah,
I'm
and people had like a problem with that in the last remake, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
I like it,
'cause-
dude.
Yeah, I like it too. Like it's like limited compared to the mainline Pokemon games where you can mix and match outfits. But,
Right.
like, it's better to me. It's like better than nothing, you know.
Honestly, yeah. Like they didn't have to put it in there, and I prefer, and it's just an option, man. Like you don't
Yeah,
have to engage with it.
yeah. And then I also saw that they added like you can like choose your skin color in the beginning of the game too.
Yeah,
So,
that's
Really?
really cool.
I missed that.
yeah, it was on their website. The like it's like this is like things in the mainline games that they do, but like in past remakes, they just basically had like the original character models just in 3D, you know. So this is pretty cool that they're letting you choose your options still, even though it's a remake. Um, and other than that, I can't
What
remember much.
What do you think of the art style? That's what I wanted to ask both of you.
Yeah, I like it. It's
Yeah, I
chibi.
like it. At first, when I first saw the first trailer, I was like, "Oh man, this is not the remake I wanted." But then I kind of like grew into it. Like
It
makes
works.
sense because to be honest, I don't know how they're gonna do that whole region in like a Pokemon Sword and Shield style because
It'd just be
like
different.
the
Way
layouts
different.
are like different compared to modern Pokemon games
True.
and like previous Pokemon games. It
Yeah.
would feel like insanely different. So
It would have to have been a remake at that point.
yeah, exactly.
Well, these are supposed to be remakes.
Well,
Yeah, but, like,
okay.
that
This
would
is
be
like
a
towing the line
different-
between the two, man.
Yeah, a whole different remake because Pokemon games back then, like if you go into a cave, for example, compare the caves back then to now. Like back then, they were like elaborate mazes, and now they're just like straight lines and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true, huh?
it's like it'd be really hard to like make that game into like a Sword and Shield looking game. I feel like,
Yep.
which makes me wonder how they're gonna do Gen 5 as well, because
If they do.
like the DS, every game DS and before are like totally different to like 3DS and now. Like
Yep. Very. You can only
they're
move in
very
like
different.
you can move up and down, left and right. There's no diagonal.
Yeah,
axis.
just like the way that like the worlds are laid out too. So
Yep.
we'll have to see how that is. But otherwise, yeah, I'm pretty excited for this remake because, like I said, these are like my childhood Pokemon games. These are the ones I put the most time into. I mentioned on Discord maybe I'll catch them all in this game, but
Jesus.
depending if they add in new Pokemon from like future generations, we'll have to see.
Oh.
If
yeah.
it's the original Pokédex, then I'll do it. But
In
if
Gen
they added
4,
new ones, I don't know about that.
Sure.
by Gen 4, there were 493 Pokemon,
Yeah,
which
so-
is less than half of the total amount of Pokemon there are now.
Yeah, we're like at 900 now, so
Yeah.
there you go.
Before I move on, I just want to say I really hope they leave in all the improvements that Pokemon Platinum gave,
Yeah, so
because
commenting that real quick. In the Pokemon Underground area, it looked like there was Pokemon that were in the Platinum version, like Houndoom. He wasn't in Diamond and Pearl.
yeah,
He's in
I
the
noticed that.
Underground now because Diamond and Pearl had a very lack of Fire type Pokemon in the beginning. You
Yep.
go only. I was like watching like a whole video on this like a couple months ago, and like apparently like the only Fire types in the first part of the game are Chimchar, who's a starter, and then Ponyta. So if you
Yeah.
pick Chimchar, you only have one Fire type option, and it's like, as a kid, I didn't really notice that, but like going back and like hearing people's complaints about the game, you're like, oh yeah, that's very valid. And then there's also a disappointment that people like they have the map of the game online on the website, and it looks like the Battle Frontier isn't in the game, unfortunately.
No fucking way.
No.
It's just the Battle Tower
Oh.
again from the original games.
Lame. Okay. Well, we'll see about that. Anyways, the second thing they showed off at the Pokemon Presents is Pokemon Legends Arceus. So they showed off a whole bunch of things after a kind of lukewarm reception from the last time. I mean,
Right.
I was really hyped about it initially, but then once I read more about it, my hype started to die down. But I liked everything I saw here. So they show off some new environments, which was a big criticism from last time. So there's not just one grassy meadow. There's more variety. Show off some new characters, such as Captain Silene, who is the leader of the Survey Corps, and Commander Komodo, who is, I guess, your professor. No, actually, there's another professor character. I just forget their name right now. They showed off the main town, Jubilee City, I think.
Jubilife
Village. Yeah.
Jubilee
And
Village,
that's
yeah.
For
the cities in Diamond and
Yeah,
Pearl.
which will then, I guess, become Jubilee City in the DS game. So your goal is to, as usual, complete the Pokedex, but this is the first ever Pokedex. However, instead of just straight up catching Pokemon, this Pokedex will require you to do several actions with each Pokemon to reveal more and more information about it, which I really like. It's not just, it's more engagement.
That's what I mean. Like there's an interesting mechanic besides just going out and catching them, right? Which we've kind of done over and over. So, the environments look, just as a note, sorry, the environments look better than we saw before. Still not like where I want them to be, but definitely better than before.
Yeah.
People on Twitter were arguing about the graphics like all week. Like I saw people were like comparing it to Oblivion. Back then. I don't know if you guys saw the tweet or not, but like they were showing like the trees in Oblivion versus like the trees in the game. I'm like,
Yeah. I have it on video right here, and it kind of makes sense. You have to remember that these guys, like, this is probably their biggest quote unquote actual open environment that they've done. I don't know what kind of developers they have now, but if they're the same ones that were working on like Sword and Shield and then the main line before, I think I don't know. You'd also just have to consider the fact that it has to run on the Switch. So unfortunately, you're not going to get even PS4 and Xbox One kind of open worlds where you would normally. So, and it has to run mobile as well, undocked, right? Which runs at a lower resolution and lower power. So keeping those things in mind, honestly, I think the art style works. Nintendo's always been good about, like, even though the games don't look amazing, the art style is cohesive enough, and it kind of plays it up for people so that you don't notice as much, right?
Yeah. Like I get the concern, but like I don't really care.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more concerned about the gameplay than like the overall graphics, you know? Like,
I saw some sneaking.
Aren't too like hideous and shit. I don't care.
Let's continue talking about the gameplay then. So they revealed several new Pokemon that are going to be in this game. So we got Hisuian Growlithe.
Yeah.
Which is continuing the theme of variations of old Pokemon based on the region. So we're in the Hisuian region, which we'll guess later on be named the Sinnoh region. So we have a variation of Growlithe, who is much furrier. We have a Weird Deer, which is the evolution of a Stantler that lives in the Hisuian region. We have Basculegion, the evolution of a Basculin that lives in the Hisuian region. and Hisuian Braviary. And you can ride some of these Pokemon for transport, which I think is really cool. So you can gallop, you can fly, you can swim. It's all very good.
There's a camp,
Wait,
it seems
you
like.
can
Sorry.
fly?
You
Yeah.
can ride.
Yeah.
You can. It's kind of like parasailing on your flying Pokemon. Yeah.
You're telling me they were able to figure out how to fly on an animal in this game, but they couldn't do it in freaking Horizon?
Yes.
Yeah.
As
Join that Pokemon. Help them.
yeah, you can swim. Like they're swimming on like a fish, which is really cool. I can't remember the name of that thing.
Basket Legion. It's a
Basket
ghost and water
Legion?
type.
Okay, so it's okay, gotcha. So these are evolutions proper. These aren't like versions of them, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, the Growlithe is like a different version, but like the Basket Legion and the Weirdeer are evolutions. Yeah.
Okay.
Evolutions of older Pokemon. Yep.
Yeah.
And then some Pokemon, as you see in the trailer, they'll be evil with red eyes and they'll
Yep.
attack you. Like they will actually attack you, the player, and send you back to, I guess, home, unless you have any Pokemon to battle with. And obviously you can catch them and put them on your team.
Right here, you're seeing
Also-
Gyarados. That's evil. Sorry, go ahead.
Yep. And we saw an evil Ursaring and a Drapion also in the trailer. So speaking of battling will be slightly different, where speed determines the turn order. So that'll be a very cool factor and it'll change up how we're used to battling Pokemon. Also, you can choose between agile and strong types for each of your moves, and they both have a trade-off in terms of turn order or power. And I know Ark has thoughts on this because a lot of people are saying this is taking cues from Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. Cool though.
I'm sure
Um,
that'll spice things up for a lot of people. And finally, this game comes out on January 28th, 2022. So
No
soon.
delays.
Not yet, which is good.
I kind of wonder, just as a side note, I wonder how like you're gonna encounter someone. Is it you run up to the monster in the open, or the Pokemon in the open field, and you then go to a turn-based thing? Is it where it's like a hard cut like those RPGs?
No. So
They
showed
show- Yeah, they throw a Pokeball at the Pokemon, and then that
And
engages
okay,
in a battle.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like almost seamless. There's like no transitions like in the normal Pokemon games.
Mhm. That's big too,
Yeah.
honestly.
I'm excited for this game. I can't wait to play it. I can't wait to be in an open world Pokemon world. I'm down for it.
Yeah, dude.
Despite everything everyone's saying about it, I'm gonna be happy to play this game.
This looks almost what I wanted from a Pokemon, to be honest. I don't know really how they would have worked an action combat fully like system. That would have been a massive undertaking. Just given that there are so many different Pokemon, I think that's kind of been one of the main critiques of it. Oh, it's not fully action; it's still kind of turn-based, but I think they found a good blend. The world looks awesome. TBD on the story, because to be honest, I've kind of never cared about the story, so hopefully they can rope me in. They have been. There have been points where I'm like, well, that's a really cool story point. I think with Sun and Moon, they had a few in there that I was kind of really into, but since then,
Black and White was deep as hell.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's
As far
true.
as Pokemon goes.
So yes, they have deeper storylines. They're trying to make it for everyone, the game. So yeah, this branded as Legends, I really do hope that they kind of lean into the whole actual Legends like part of it. So I don't know.
Give me some mythology about Arceus.
Exactly. Go. I mean, I'm picking it up day one, but Sam, I just wanted to get your opinion real quick. Does this make you more or less interested, knowing that it is more open world and the combat's a lot more streamlined, or do you just not care?
At this point, nothing gets me to want to invest in Pokemon, so
Damn.
no, I still don't really care about
Tough
it.
customer. Okay.
Did you grow up with Pokemon or no?
No, not at all.
Oh.
Pokemon Go is literally the first and only Pokemon thing I've ever experienced.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of like feel like if you didn't grow up with Pokemon, then you're probably not gonna really get into it as much.
Yeah.
Well, Sam, wake the fuck up because we're going to talk about Gamescom now.
Wait, what? I thought we were talking about the other game that I don't care about.
What, Call of Duty?
No, Halo.
Sorry. Halo? No, we're going to save that for after.
We'll be roping that.
We're
Yeah.
talking about that after Gamescom.
Was that? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
Oh, is Gamescom
Okay.
not the main topic? Okay.
That's Gamescom like adjacent too. So
Yeah.
So, yeah, Xbox is going to have their thing on Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then opening night live on Wednesday. I forget what time. And then
2 Eastern.
so Jeff Keighley. So okay, 2 Eastern then. Jeff Keighley said some headlines to get everyone excited. We're gonna see some new Saints Row, allegedly a new reboot for the series. We're gonna see the first gameplay reveal of Call of Duty Vanguard, which is a big grab.
Sorry.
And what I think most of us here are excited for, we're gonna get another look at Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Finally,
yeah.
this game was supposed to come out last year, and we haven't heard a peep since last year.
Shadow drop, shadow drop, shadow drop, shadow
You
drop.
wish. You fucking wish.
Give me a soon release date. You know, give me this year. Let me play the damn Lego game because it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly, like.
So, from all of you, what do you look forward to from Gamescom?
The release of The Elder Scrolls 6.
Okay, so in terms of opening night live, none of the stuff that you talked about interests me. Maybe Saints Row.
Really?
Yeah, maybe
Bro,
Saints
you're
Row. I
wearing
want
a
to see how that. Hold up.
You're wearing a
hold up.
Star Wars shirt. Are you
But like,
freaking?
I don't. Lego
Big
Star
fan.
Wars. Like, I never really played Lego Star Wars.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. Now you just made me lose my train of thought.
Saints Row.
Yeah, Saints Row. I played, what was it, 3 back then. It was pretty fun. Slap people around with a dildo bat, you know, can't get any better than that.
Can't get any better.
Also,
that is
Saints Row-
the highest bar.
Saints Row 4 came out like, what was it, 2014 or something? 2013?
2013.
It's been almost like it's like almost a decade since the last Saints Row game came out. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like I'm more looking
Yeah.
to see like what like the stuff we don't know.
What does that look like in 2021?
Yeah, exactly. Like do they go back to copying GTA? Because the 1 and 2 were like
How?
kind of like GTA clones. But
I mean, how many dildo bats are in this one, right?
yeah, exactly.
A lot less, right? They can only have like 2, and it's got to be like hidden or something. I'm sure.
But realistically, I do think they go back to like the wacky stuff that started with 3.
Yeah.
So maybe there's that. But like you said, like how does that look in 2021? Does it have like its own online like separate mode like GTA does? Because that's what's keeping
Hope not.
GTA alive right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for me, it's mostly the stuff that we don't know about. Like I want to see something that surprises me.
Mm-hmm.
Do we see Sony put a Horizon trailer with the date 2022 on it?
Nah. Doesn't
No,
feel like the thing.
so Sony just took this year off from a marketing perspective, actually.
For sure.
Steven,
And are
what are you
we
excited
also talking about
sorry.
Microsoft's, or are we doing that a little later?
No, yeah. Include what you think Microsoft is going to
Yeah,
do.
So obviously
Microsoft's,
Microsoft. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, Microsoft's is the day before, and like, do we see a Halo Infinite release date there? Like,
I
Probably.
would hope so.
they say like the date that they had the date down. It is they reconfirmed that it's holiday 2021, and that we'll get to in later on. So like, I could see them putting the release date out there, but like I can also see them doing it at their own event. So I don't really know.
I expect. Okay, not expect. Maybe some more Forza.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe like a new mode or something, or like I don't know I don't know much about Forza, but like I'm gonna try it out this year. But like maybe I don't know, a Warthog car in there for Halo Infinite. I know they did that last time for one of the games.
It honestly, yeah. So we'll get to that later. I think they probably have a better idea of the release date now if they didn't before. Just given the news that we'll get to later as far as the feature set that's going to be at launch. I just think if they don't show it here, it's going to be pushed to 2022. Like really,
that won't happen.
You don't. Okay,
That won't happen.
I don't know. I think.
Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
We'll get into this, but yeah, that should be exciting to see. Like, if they actually show it here, that's a big thing, right? Do people is it just a tired subject where the release date, like, just give it to us already and now we finally see it, it's not a big deal? Or
I mean,
well, we want to know.
Yeah, we want to know. Like, it's already August. August is going to end soon. We have like a little less than 1.5 weeks left.
Yeah. I really hope they do. Just on another note, I want to see more stuff from the Xbox stream. Other than that, is it? They just said that there's no new news, right?
Yeah.
As far new game news, but there probably is news about properties we know about then.
Yeah.
But I guess that doesn't discount Avowed or Perfect Dark or any of their other already announced games, but I'm still not expecting to see those things here.
Yeah. I think it's a safe bet that we will see something Forza there. I think that's Halo. I'm expecting it to be there, but it could not be there. Maybe. What I hope they do there is that they give us a release date for Halo, and then they're like, oh hey, our next flighting is this day. It'll either be like, oh, next flighting is this weekend or next weekend, and it'll have this, and this.
It doesn't. I don't think we'll see that. It doesn't feel like something they put on a big live stream. That's something you put on like a development update, which they just had.
Maybe they point you to it. Maybe they say, Haley, check out Halo Waypoint for flighting news, kind of thing. I hope to see some Fable stuff, honestly. A little more substantial. Sure. I know it may not be super feasible, but like maybe like a cinematic trailer that gives us more of a feeling of what the game might be rather than just like a mood piece. Would be kind of cool.
Actually, not going back to Halo real quick. Now that I think about it, I think GamesCom would be a good place to show something campaign related because we haven't seen much of it yet. So maybe they can show us like a couple of gameplay moments from there. I don't know how long, but something there.
Well, if we've wrapped up from Gamescom, then we can easily transition to
few more things I wanted to mention that I was excited about. Sorry. The Destiny 2 news. I know nobody really cares about that. They're announcing their next big, like the Witch Queen, what they're doing to the game, some big changes there.
Is that a separate stream? That's this week, right?
It's the 24th, so that'll be Tuesday, I believe.
Okay.
It's all wrapped up into one. And there's supposedly, and this is why it was relevant, supposedly some crossover between Bungie and 343 in both games. Rumor is that they're going to have some Master Chief armors.
Nice.
In Destiny. And they're going to have the sidearm. The sidearm and I think the BR in some form as far as like weapon innovation. So those are like from like a leak that they had, a big leak that they had for Destiny before this. So that would be kind of cool.
It's nice that Bungie and Halo are friends again.
Yeah. It's cool to see that stuff. But yeah, that was kind of my bigger thing. That's why I was excited about this week. Sorry, go on, Gav.
Is the Destiny presentation before or after Gamescom?
It'll be before because
if it's on the 24th, it's the day before
technically
opening night live. Because opening night live is on Wednesday.
I mean, I'm sorry, before the Xbox Gamescom presentation.
I don't know time frames.
Okay. I could see them like at one of the announcements. Like I think the Xbox one, I could see them say like Witch Queen is also going to be on Game Pass.
Oh yeah,
just like to follow up with the other ones on Game Pass as well.
I see that happening. Drives engagement for their game, so.
All right, let's talk about Halo.
Halo, even more Halo.
Yeah, more Halo. Yeah.
More Halo.
So as the champion of Halo here, this was not the best news to see on Friday afternoon. Okay, so they had their monthly development update for Halo Infinite. This time it came in a video format, which is different. So yeah, they showed all the devs, how they're doing on the game, and the man himself, Joseph Staten, the creative director for Halo Infinite, he came on and he confirmed that unfortunately the game won't have Forge or campaign co-op at launch. And by campaign co-op, that means neither split screen or online. However, he did say co-op will launch in Season 2 of the game, while Forge will launch in Season 3. And according to him, a season of Halo Infinite lasts about 3 months. And remember, that could either be in the beginning of the season or the end of the season. And he said some reasons for why this news had to happen. He said that lots of complexities with game development, particularly with co-op campaign, that result in this delay. He said, on the co-op side, we have the opportunity to play the campaign all the time. It's this wonderful, open, non-linear take on the Halo campaign. It's going to offer so much more flexibility to take down banished bases from all different angles to progress through the game in your own way. At the same time, though, that's complicated. When you think about save systems and all the technology that needs to drive this more non-linear experience and the co-op experience, that's even more complicated.
So, sorry.
Wait. No.
Go ahead.
Of course I'm bummed. I was going to play this game either with you guys or one of my best friends back where I live and my girlfriend. I wanted to experience the campaign together for the first time. So the fact that I can't do that means I'm probably going to wait to play the campaign until they do put in co-op.
Mm-hmm.
And that's still a shame because that means I have to wait even longer to find out what happens to Master Chief. I have to avoid all the spoilers online because I'm definitely going to be on the Halo subreddit. It just sucks. However, what he's saying here, I get it. I can't think of another co-op open world game that's story driven. And yeah, how do you even manage who gets to keep the progress that you make in the story, right? Because if you play in someone else's world, does that affect your save back in your own game? I don't know how to figure that out. They're trying to figure that out. And of course, we have to mention it's COVID, pandemic. Games are already hard enough to make as it is. So as mad as you can be, which I guess you can be a little mad because this game has been in the works for a long, long time. It's not easy for them either. And I guess we'll talk about this later, but this was probably the worst, terrible choice they could have made. All right, what are your guys' thoughts?
I think there is some silver lining here, and I'll explain. So the fact, a lot of people are looking at the big picture. Yes, it does absolutely suck to not have co-op day one. Campaign is still there. Multiplayer is still there. They seem to be both fully featured besides that, right? You have the Forge, which is a separate, I think, third pillar. That's the community creation stuff. I'm bummed that both of them are in there, don't get me wrong. Because I really would have liked to not have to wait to play that campaign. Because that's what I'll do. I'm going to wait to play it co-op. Maybe. Unless I don't think I can avoid spoilers, right? I'm going to play dude, here's how I look at it. I'm going to play the campaign, and then I'm going to play it with my friends. That's how I typically do it, too. Or that's how I've done it in the past. It's been like a mix of both, right? The save system thing gets complicated because there are a lot of open world co-op games like Far Cry 5 where the story progress doesn't carry when you're playing with your friend, and it's a real fucking bummer to not have your achievements and everything unlock or your story progress carried over when you go back to your own game and play it yourself. I think that's a hard thing to juggle, even for open world people, and that's why you don't see a lot of open world co-op games in general. So that's kind of a really big, like, I guess excuse, really, but a valid one at that. And I also think that the big detail that I took from this, as far as the silver lining, is that it's going to offer so much more flexibility to take down banished bases from all different angles. This gives me the open-ended feeling about, like, like akin to a Far Cry, where it's like you have different options to take down these enemy bases. I hope it's not so checklisty like a Far Cry will be, or Far Cry is, but remains to be seen, I guess, hopefully with this. That's what I want to see. I want to see, here's how they can make it up. Let's see some co-op gameplay in the Gamescom show, or pre-show, I guess, to kind of sate us over and be like, all right, well, we didn't get it on release date, but we can be excited about when it does come, kind of thing.
Well, first, Arc, your camera's off.
Yes,
but also,
yeah, I know, troubleshooting sign.
I don't think that's the only thing they do show off what co-op gameplay could be, but then not actually deliver it. I feel like that's insulting the fan base. Then
what
they're giving us this mock-up of what it was supposed to be, but
no, because if it's cool, man, this is why we're working on it, right? This is why it's taking longer. That's how I look at it. This is why we've just made the decision to hold it off, is because these are the cool things that wouldn't have been possible or would have not worked right on launch.
Okay.
That's kind of how I see it. I see what you're saying, though. It does seem like a bit of a, here's a little bit of the dangling meat, and now you have to chase it for 3 or 4 months, so or 6, depending on when this releases. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. I'm excited for the features that they're adding as far as like seamless experience, but bummed that I can't day one just go through the campaign and then dive into multiplayer afterwards with my friend. So
yeah,
Eric, you?
This is a bummer, but for me personally, doesn't really affect me too much. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really think about co-op campaign with this game because
man.
No, because like Steven was saying earlier, like how many open world co-op games are there really? I didn't. There was a podcast I was listening to last night, and one of the hosts said that they had some friends in the gaming industry that didn't know this game was going to feature a co-op campaign, just because the fact that it was going to be an open world and all that stuff, like how yeah, like,
but it's Halo.
Yeah, Halo and co-op are pretty synonymous.
Yeah, for sure. After I thought about it, yeah, I was like, oh yeah, that does make sense. But like, in the back of I never really thought about it till like recently. I was like, oh yeah, co-op campaign, huh? But anyways, back on topic. Yeah, this is a bummer. Me personally, it doesn't really affect me that much. I wasn't really gonna plan to play co-op, I guess, but like with you guys, probably could do that. But I'll probably still play the campaign at launch. I don't really mind playing it again with friends afterwards, because as we saw from like the from the technical test, everyone seemed to love the multiplayer and stuff like that. And like, it's weird seeing online people being like, "Oh, this game is gonna fail," like all of a sudden because of a delayed feature, even though everyone seemed to like the multiplayer during the test, and it's like really weird. Just seeing all this negativity, out of nowhere. It's like really, really weird. And like, I get it. You can be disappointed that this stuff has been delayed. You can be disappointed that 343 hasn't launched a feature complete Halo game since they started. Because like I was looking back, and people were like,
I got thoughts on that.
Halo 4 didn't come out complete. Halo 5 didn't come out complete. And yes, those are valid reasons. But like, it's so weird seeing the internet do a 180 on this entire game after a few weeks just because of delayed features. And like, people are calling for the game to be delayed. And like, I can understand your point of view, but like, I'm gonna be honest here. How many people are gonna play the co-op campaign? How many people are really actually gonna play that? Well, I know us in the cast here, obviously, but like compare to people out there. How many people are actually gonna play it compared to everyone else?
That's a great discussion point that I really want to delve into after
And like,
Sam's thoughts. If there's Sam, if you have any thoughts. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
sorry. And like, of
Oh,
course, the multiplayer is gonna be free to play. So like, I feel like
Yeah.
multiplayer is gonna be the big part of Halo Infinite. And so I feel like people are like saying, "Oh, delay the entire game." I'm like, but multiplayer seems complete at this point. You know, from what we played, seems complete. So it would make, to me, it doesn't make sense to delay multiplayer if it's already good. I would say maybe delay the campaign portion if you need to, but multiplayer has to come out this year.
Yeah.
Sam, your thoughts?
my thoughts. I am a little disappointed. Like, and I wasn't gonna play this game solo. Like, I don't have enough investment and interest in Halo itself to play it solo.
Yeah.
So I did talk my brother into. I think we're gonna start playing through the Master Chief Collection together. So obviously it'll be my second time with Halo, and then Combat Evolved 2 and 3. And then I haven't finished 4, but yeah, we're gonna play through those. So I guess this just gives us more time to kind of catch up. Obviously, we won't be able to play Halo 5, but yeah, just have to wait, I guess. Which I don't really have much of a problem doing.
Okay, so let me ask you guys this. Yeah, how integral is co-op, right? Is it worth a delay? Should they have delayed this entire damn game so that they could launch it with campaign co-op? Or do you think the number of people that will even care about co-op, are they so small that it doesn't matter to the game's performance?
I'll go first. If you're looking at optics, it's hard. Because this has already been delayed more than it should have.
Yeah, what was this game going to look like a year ago?
Right. What does that even look like? And so it must have had a really troubled development. But you've already delayed it this much, is what I see it as. If you want to release it fully featured, put some other stuff, I don't know, bump some other stuff up or promote some other stuff. Maybe just release with multiplayer and release it in kind of like a, I don't know, like a staggered beta release kind of thing, right? Don't have it a 1.0 when it's not feature complete, is my opinion at least. Because you do have the reputation of previous ones where it's like, hey, every single one that 343 has been helmed of has not completely released on release day, right? Or there's been some weird stuff with it, or what have you. They have some reputation to repair here that I think is definitely hard to juggle with the fact that you have to strike while the iron's hot, you know? They've already done the flight. People are already really excited to get into this. Anticipation, I feel like, is going to die down a little bit if they delay that for a portion of the audience, which is probably smaller than arguably the multiplayer and just single player campaign. But yeah.
A staggered release.
That was always the rumor, right?
That wasn't a rumor. That was. I think that was just what people.
Well, it's what Phil said on an interview. He's like, if we have to release a certain part, Gaff, I think you're frozen out. Yeah, I think Gaff crashed.
Adios.
Yeah, audio listeners, Gaff is coming back in. Just 1 second while that happens. And he's back, Gaff. You you kind of cut out there for a second. You were saying staggered release. What was your thoughts on that?
That just feels, as a Halo fan, right? That just feels wrong to me. Campaign and multiplayer, they go hand in hand, and I can't imagine one without the other, or releasing one without the other.
That's a good point. That
That's just the fanboy in me talking. I mean, maybe that is like the right way to go.
again, it's tricky with optics. Like I said, I feel like they need to get this out this year. Honestly,
Yeah, it's they have
20th
to get it out this
anniversary.
year. It's the 20th anniversary of Halo and of Xbox in general. So you need to have your flagship game. Like Master Chief is on the back of the Xbox Series Xbox, and that game
Yeah.
didn't release last year. So if it gets delayed again, that's a really really bad look for Xbox. And like,
but again,
You
you saw
need-
with Cyberpunk.
but
if
see
they-
that.
That's
is this a Cyberpunk
different
situation?
Scenario. That's a different scenario.
it's pretty hype, dude. Cyberpunk was really hype. They expected it to be the next big thing. They probably could have delayed it, had a little less bugs at least at launch. Maybe some performance fixes in there, but like maybe it might be different apples and oranges because Cyberpunk I think was troubled the whole way as they kind of had to redo the whole game entirely. But that's not too far off, I don't think.
I think this game was troubled the whole way.
Yeah.
Let me be honest with you.
Man. I know. I feel like it's different because Cyberpunk. I feel like. How do I explain this? I feel like they all the stuff that we were seeing with Cyberpunk wasn't real. Like those behind closed doors like things they were showing wasn't real. We've played Halo Infinite. The tech test that we know like how it plays. At least the multiplayer.
I didn't.
I mean.
I think you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, I didn't.
It feels like I remember Halo feeling, and I'm excited about it. But anyways, Eric, go back to it.
The public actually got their hands on Halo Infinite. We've seen like how it plays. Cyberpunk, there was like a lot of fake gameplay, I guess is what you would call it, around that game, and like.
Well, they never showed the like console version. They were only showing the PC version, which is the most stable.
Yeah.
Still not stable, but stable.
And like that tech test was like on all platforms, and it's like, yeah, the Xbox One version is apparently like a little rough, like what you said, Steven. Yeah, but like, was it for you? Was it unplayable? Was it fine, or?
It was a variable frame rate, because they tried to get the 4K. They were testing the 4K for it. So on the One X, sorry, I didn't play on the base. On the One X, even then it was a little bit framey, but the performance was really smooth most of the times. But you could definitely tell it was pushing the limits of that. As far as like, it wasn't the most graphically amazing thing, but also like there were a lot of different things going on, and it was definitely pushing for them trying to get the 4K for the One X. I don't know, man. It was actual gameplay is what you're saying though. Like,
yeah.
Versus maybe it's different in that.
We've seen the lowest common denominator on the consoles versions was whereas Cyberpunk they tried to hide the worst versions of that game, and it totally backfired them because most of the people was probably playing on consoles for that game. And that's why I think it's like different from Cyberpunk, and dang, I'm trying to figure out where I want to go now, but
well, let me
pick up for me.
Back to the question, like, how important is co-op, do you think? Do you think all this like vitriol online is like proportional? Eric, you don't think so, right?
I'm gonna be honest. Probably is. Like, I get it's an important game for people. Like, I'm not downplaying the fact that co-op is important, but I'm saying like Halo Infinite in its whole package. How many people are gonna be playing the co-op campaign of it when multiplayer is free to play, and that's gonna be the biggest part of that game? And shooter campaigns in general, there's been there's been data about it that people don't usually play the campaign for. They go straight to multiplayer, And like obviously Halo is different because it's more story based, but at the same time, people are playing multiplayer mostly. And I feel like if you delay the entire game because of what feature, like a small, not small, sorry, of a feature that's not going to be there at launch, it's going to be kind of, you're going to have people who don't care about that feature waiting for the feature that they actually do want when it's already done.
Steven, what do you have to say?
I have a confession to make. I honestly probably would have jumped into multiplayer to start. So
Me, I'm gonna be honest. Me too. Like, I love Halo campaign, but
yeah,
like, I would have wanted to hop in the multiplayer first.
Well, I guess I'm alone in that because I probably would have fired up the
but here's the
campaign.
thing,
My
Gav, is I don't
girlfriend
think
and
you
friend.
are alone. I don't think you are alone, and I think that's why
Oh,
it's
I
such a
would've-
big stink.
I would have went campaign first for sure.
Yeah,
Woo.
you
Just as someone who doesn't vibe with multiplayer shooters, I would have definitely hopped into the campaign first.
and like you said, Gav, they go hand in hand. Halo's always been the great campaign with the great multiplayer, arguably on both sides, right? But not having the co-op campaign in memory past maybe would have been a bigger thing, but where I currently sit, I think it's okay because they are releasing both at least releasing both the campaign and the multiplayer on day one.
Yeah.
Modes
Like-
pending, right? Sure, but
like in the Discord, you guys saw. I misread that news story. Like,
Yeah,
for them
me too.
I thought it said campaign was a coming at launch. I was like, what the fuck? But then I reread it. I was like, oh, okay.
I think
Okay.
we all would have been in the vitriol territory at that point, right? I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's a much larger deal. And I'm not saying that obviously co-op campaign has always kind of been a thing for Halo, but like in the overall package, I feel they're making the right decision is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think this is like the least awful thing they could have done. I guess in the end, I guess I would rather take having the game now with a fully functioning campaign multiplayer rather than making everyone else wait just so I can have my co-op. But let me ask you guys this: how do you guys think this reflects on 343 Industries as a company? So let's recap. Halo 4, I think, didn't have a file browser, among other features. Master Chief Collection, like nothing needs to be said about what happened to Master Chief Collection. While I think it's great now,
It
it
took
was
so long.
it was it's 2021. It came out 2015, 14.
They
14.
had that going. It was probably like 3 or 4 years before that thing was like fully where it needed to be.
Which is, if for any other IP, to be unacceptable, but because it's Halo, people have stuck to it. Halo 5, it didn't have Forge. Oh, we didn't even talk about Forge, but I'll get into that later. Halo 5 didn't have Forge. It didn't have real big team battle maps, right? I guess big team battle didn't even come until much later because instead they had Warzone, their Warzone instead. And then when we finally did get big team battle, we didn't get any actual handcrafted maps from 343. Instead, they had maps that the community made through Forge, which is a big shame because, yeah, as cool as Forge is, it just doesn't have that polish that you would get from an actual map made by the developers. So 343, they have that track record, and now again, they're launching a game, one of the most important games, without a feature, and they've had way more time to work on this game. How does this look on them? How does it reflect on Bonnie Ross, the current head of 343 Industries?
I'd say not great, right? They obviously, rumor was that they have like, I don't know, maybe not the best like directional lead for these things, right?
Yeah, I saw the Glassdoor reviews, which were a thing many years ago.
It's hard because game development is hard. In any case, you're always adding or making new features. Halo has kind of been samey for a while, right? Arguably.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of there's not super deviations from the formula, and I think when you try to innovate, you exponentially multiply development time. When you're adding new features, you're adding better graphics, better textures, and trying to get it all working sure is a hard thing, but when you know the formula, I feel like you're taking a known quantity and you're adding on to it. I don't know. It just seems a little weird to me that this keeps happening. Just as a side note, like I don't know. Is it time to hand the baton, or to get some different help at that point, or maybe they need a new management or something, because clearly, like,
I think Bonnie Ross has screwed up, not screwed up, but mismanaged too many times. Again, if we're any other company, I think we would have seen a different person in charge by now.
yeah,
I'm surprised. Personally, I'm surprised she's still in charge of that company.
I think the only and let's be realistic here too. I think one of the big reasons they actually got it together to maybe even release this year was they had help from the coalition, correct? On a lot of some of the assets, I think, for open world and stuff. And then they had the director, not the directors, was it a game director? He came back to help with the story, right?
Staten came back.
Yeah. To help, like, get it back on track, essentially, was the going word. So something is going on that they maybe need to, looking into this next dev cycle, do some shakeups, because I feel like Xbox would probably be putting that pressure on them at this point, given all the leniencies they've given them. You would hope, right? So that we can kind of get back on track as far as, like, this is what a first-party AAA game should be looking like on this huge platform, arguably. Second biggest for this competitive, like, obviously they're in second with Sony because Nintendo does their own thing. So I just feel it's too big to be having these things like this happen. You know?
Sam, as someone who's completely very uninvolved with Halo, like, how do you look at C43 now? Do they feel like like a trash fire company from your perspective?
I mean, it's hard for me to base that off of this game in particular, just because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Has caused a lot of trouble with a lot of games. So I mean, this in particular has not really changed my opinion. Not that I have much of an opinion, because I've only played the Bungie ones, so
Yeah.
I haven't played. Well, is four?
Four.
Through 3, which
Okay, so I played half of.
You partially played.
Yeah, partially played that. So yeah, I don't really have, like, any background on, like, how I feel about them. So, and this hasn't changed that at all, really.
Eric, you?
Me personally, so I didn't really get into Halo until, like, Halo 5, like the year Halo 5 was coming out. Like, I bought an Xbox One, I bought the Master Chief Collection in 2015. So I wasn't really around during, like, the Halo 4 days, like, when people were hating against them. And I didn't really have much problems with Halo 5. I kind of enjoyed it. Only reason I fell off was because I kind of stopped playing with friends, and that's mainly what I played Halo for. So me personally, I don't see 343 as the big bad everyone's saying, but I do agree that something does have to be done, because just looking back at what people have been saying, like that these games haven't been launching feature complete at launch, and now seeing that Halo Infinite is doesn't have co-op campaign or Forge, like yeah, it doesn't bother me, but it is pretty, like, it's not, doesn't look great on them at all.
If you're a video,
Just continuously doing this.
there's a picture, a still frame in their presentation, which has Cortana, or I guess the AI replacement for Cortana, kind of, right? The new AI.
Yep.
Her making this face where it's like,
Yeah.
The creature face, yeah.
Yeah, and next to the ODST, I guess, person who was presenting for ODST.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel like right now. You know? Like,
Yeah.
it's whatever, honestly, because, like, yes, something has to change, but COVID also, right? And then, but like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to play
Like
it this fall. I'm excited about it, but this does need to be looked at, I think, with a closer eye.
Yeah, exactly. Like COVID, like I didn't mention it earlier, but like yeah, COVID has affected video game development this entire year. Like you're seeing games get delayed left and right. We still haven't got a date for Horizon, and that's speculated to be delayed till next year. So people, I should say people should like understand 343 is having a tough time with code, but at the same time, these are like been repeated mistakes. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pre-COVID.
I don't know.
It's not like they didn't fuck up
Pre-COVID
before.
stuff too. I
Um,
feel like Microsoft should like give Halo a chance at another developer, like
Mm-hmm.
for a spin-off game or something. Like I want to see id Software do a Halo game.
Yes.
That'd be pretty cool. Maybe for
Yeah.
them, like either like a spin-off, like another like ODST kind of
What-
game or something like that.
What about Machine? What about Machine GameWorks?
That'd be pretty
No.
cool too.
No,
No, why?
Yes. Why?
they
Because
have to make
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein. If they
You
make
know-
a Halo game before they make Wolfenstein 3, I will
yeah, but
They're making
I
it.
will be so mad.
I gave a
Quick-
shit about
quick-
BJ Blazkowicz. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
they're good at that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Quick thing though, but they're Machine Games are making a new Quake expansion. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, from QuakeCon, they had a few
Oh.
things.
Yeah.
The fuck? They're also making Indiana Jones, so
Come
Yeah.
on.
whatever.
But no, I want to see I do want to see id Software do a Halo because like Doom is pretty fucking good, and like I just
Yeah.
want to see like a Halo game, like either in that style or like their own like take on Halo. Be pretty interesting.
So before we wrap up, I want to mention Forge because I forgot to last time. Forge is very important. Again, it's niche, but it's a very important niche because the few dedicated people that spend a lot of time in Forge, they make maps that the general Halo population plays a lot. Forge is very important for custom games, very important for action sack. The more wacky, fun game types that you can choose to play in. And if Forge isn't going to be around for six or more months, I'm honestly quite worried about the longevity for this game. Like, yeah, this might be a live service game, with the battle passes and all that, and that hasn't been a thing before in Halo, so maybe that'll reduce the dependency on Forge. But I'm just concerned.
Yeah, I had that wonder too. Like, honestly, and I hate to say this, but if we're talking about like keeping this game going, Forge was huge for keeping me invested in 3. And I think 4 for a little while. But more so 3, and it keeps it in the conversation for like, hey, look at this crazy thing I did in Forge, or hey, this is in the new map. But I feel like maybe you could switch that for the campaign co-op feature, as much as I hate to say that. As if you're looking at like a games as a service, you want to keep it going. First season, you have the big blow up first 3 months where it's like, cool, campaign, then we move on to multiplayer, we're excited about that. 3 months in, cool, now here's the Forge. Community can start doing stuff. I feel like they kind of flip-flopped it in a weird way that makes me uncomfortable for like the game's life, so...
Yeah.
I would agree if this was a paid multiplayer game, but free to play throws in a lot of different modifiers in that.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that. I keep forgetting it's free, man. Honestly, I keep forgetting that's a separate segment.
Mm-hmm.
I think as long as the gameplay of the game of the multiplayer is good, then maybe it'll last up until Forge comes out, and then you'll see maybe like another big boom there.
Hopefully.
It is gonna be on PC and Xbox, free to play and stuff, and so
Forge was cool. It's a bummer to see it delayed too.
I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think not having Forge at launch is gonna be a big deal, to be honest. Like Gab said, it is like a niche thing that the creators do, and that they do eventually put in the playlist. But like I think at launch should be fine, depending on how many maps are. I don't think they ever mentioned like how many maps we have so far, but as long as it's like a good amount, then we should be fine.
I hope so, because that was Halo 5's downfall, was the lack of maps. But that wraps up our discussion. Our very good discussion, might add. I really enjoyed talking about Halo in depth
Not-
with you guys among our
Not for Sam.
topics.
Sam just sit there quietly.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This wasn't a you episode, unfortunately.
Hey, I got to talk about Skyrim for like 5 seconds, so
Hey, we
good.
spent like 10 minutes on Skyrim, so that was good.
But that wraps up episode 22 of X Interact. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at X Interact and to stay connected with us and listen to our podcast on whatever you choose to listen to your podcast on, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so on. Until then, until next week, this has been Steven, Eric, Sam, and Gaff. Goodbye.
And I'll say one more thing. Hey, if you're listening, send us questions. We'll read them live. That's all.
For sure.
Bye.